NBC Television Network.
She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I want to see?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you are aware that there's a dimension called television, and on that dimension, they show shows?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show's called a pilot. And they show that one show to people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing. She starred in one of the ones that became nothing.
Burger King presents a sandwich to go.
It's the breakfast to go show. You can eat it anywhere, Claire. It's crispy and light.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of often
television pilots of path.
Thank you. My name is Jason, and with me is the man who takes me to Tutu Heaven. It's Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening. I love you.
I love you too. I Tutu Heaven. That was a stretch out for
It was
something.
a stretch. Thank you.
But I commend the effort, for sure.
And I commend you.
Also with you.
Thank you.
Eric Clapton, right? I'm a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Oh, no. Do you have an Eric Clapton story?
No, I saw Silence coming, and the only thing I really hate right now, besides my neighbor, is Eric Clapton. So.
It is weird how much space Eric Clapton takes up in your head. And it's already, some would argue there's already limited space.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So,
well, what I did was I chose not to put any Marvel Cinematic Universe thoughts into my head to save. So they have plenty of room for other stuff.
Oh, there's so much MCU material out there. Why don't sometime you and I just have a marathon of our own, where we watch all the movies? It'll take 8 days.
8 days and 8 nights. Isn't that when Jesus walked somewhere?
That's the famous story from Genesis. Yeah.
Oh, that band. Now that was cool. Phil Collins. He retired. He can't sing anymore.
He's done.
Can't play drums.
He's totally done. Yeah. This is the banter portion of the show. Sometimes
it's called stretchy.
Well, I think I'm going to play some music, and then you will say the names of our guests. It'll be that simple. Ready?
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad to welcome back to the show one of our friends from the podcast universe. We have like a podcast cinema universe.
Yeah, we do.
You know, rather weird ties for sure.
Podcast cinematic universe.
Yeah. All those words don't go together.
No, not at all.
But let's welcome back to the show Bryan. He was here last week.
Hi.
And ladies and gentlemen, she is now broken her own record of 3 episodes in a row. It's now 4 episodes in a row. Amanda, welcome back to the show. Congratulations. Here's your trophy.
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys.
Jazz hands. That's the first time you've ever had jazz hands on the. That's awesome.
I felt like it was an intro, and I mean, we have video for our Patreon subscribers for the challenge, so I've gotten used to being a little more animated and more myself instead of just honing it all into the microphone.
That's a good thing. I'm glad you brought that up.
Did you hear the humble brag?
Yeah, I liked it.
You guys do a show called Challenged based off of the MTV, now CBS, kind of the Viacom family, Paramount owned.
Paramount Global.
Yes,
There's no more Viacom.
Oh, okay.
Viacom's gone.
We're doing Paramount Global now. All
That's
right.
They play the show Challenge. You guys do a podcast, very successful, based off of that. But I guess what were we talking about? I got sidetracked.
Huh? I was taking a drink of water.
Yeah, I got sidetracked.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't know.
This is going
We do.
We're
great.
off to a good start.
We do, yeah.
Oh no, I know what I was gonna say. You guys do a video for your
The
for your
video
patrons.
for the Patreons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patreon.
Now Blake in the past has said we should do a video aspect of our show.
I really think that I think that it would add another complete element, mostly with our.
Well, you'd have to have you would have to make sure your uniforms were clean every week, boys.
That's true. We often come in here just
Yes.
filthy.
Yeah.
The best
Yeah.
part, that's part of Blake's kink,
Yeah.
though, is that we're
Filthy
dirty boys in
uniforms.
uniforms.
well, that
I'm just saying.
and really, the only reason our uniforms get dirty is because of that broken window
Yeah.
in
Well,
the cockpit.
you got to get that fixed too,
Every ti-
because
every ti-
people are going to see the cockpit too. So you'd
Yeah.
have to get this place a little more ship shape.
They're going to look at this video and go, "Why? How are they look? How do they know where they're flying if they're looking
Yeah.
right at each other?"
Right. Right.
You got to wash those bobby socks.
Yeah.
Blake.
Oh no, I like them.
Blake says, let's do a video element of the podcast. And he said, I think it'll help. And I all I can think of is how. What would people possibly glean from that?
I think you would get more viewers like on like YouTube or whatever, wherever you post it. You know,
You know it's a YouTube.
And I just think that
Well-
it would. I think that there's a lot of stuff that between the two of us, our facial expressions or whatever,
I think-
that people don't see.
Well, and I think that
We're too handsome.
especially
Oh.
what you guys do as far as reviewing pilot TV episodes and things. It would be nice to have like a screen behind you that was like you could play clips of like what you were talking about, or if there was something funny to like go there, pause it, and like joke about it and laugh. I think that there are some moments to it that
I think, to be honest with you, I think it would be funny just to have it running on a green screen. Just have like the one we're watching today, since it's only 20
Yeah.
minutes. Just when we start going through it, just having it
Yeah,
on.
that's it,
No
yeah.
volume.
So no volume. Okay. so
yeah,
people could
right.
see
No
the
volume.
visuals
Yes, the
then.
visual. Yeah.
So it would be like a silent and well-researched mystery science theater.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I think. I like kind of that mystery science theater aspect of kind of like how you guys could have a cockpit and it could be, you know what I mean? Like I kind of like
That's
that piece
true.
of it too.
Blake,
and
do you think
then-
we should start over at the first episode we did and then go back and do these 350 with our screen
Yes.
behind us?
Yeah.
That's probably a
Yes,
good
we
idea.
do,
Like
we
a,
do.
like a what do they call that when you
Reboot.
reboot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Reboot the show?
Reboot.
Well, let me ask you this. You guys do, you said for your patrons who pay a little extra,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they get the show early or if they get extra stuff. They definitely get the video.
Extra stuff. Video.
Video.
What is it about the video that people say they like? Why do they tune into the
Nobody
video?
tells us anything.
Yeah.
About the video.
Okay. Because I'm trying to build like a case of
Yeah.
why we should do something like that
Yeah.
for the next
Well,
350.
I just think that kind of what you guys do is it would be kind of a I think that you could really put it over the top, and I think that it could be a cool like YouTube.
Would we have to wear
YouTube
top
series.
hats?
No, but I feel like it could be.
No, we have to wear
cool,
our
like,
captain's hats.
Cool
Yeah.
YouTube series. You know what I mean?
Could we wear top hats?
Yes, you could wear uniforms and
nothing
top
else?
hats.
But it can't be too tall. I mean, the cockpit is not that. I mean, the ceiling.
It's
on
a
it's
small
not-
pit.
It's a small
This
pit.
is gonna be a competition. Who has the bigger top hat?
Yeah.
Well, we all knew who's going to win that one.
Well, Blake got some length. I think I have girth, but he has length definitely. Yeah, I didn't know if you guys could like come up with a reason or tell us why we should do that. But you guys aren't getting any feedback on your
No,
videos.
we
You
used
just
to
know that
do
people
like
check them out.
Facebook Live just as part of the thing.
Yeah,
and
and-
people enjoyed it. And then we just for some complications, we just couldn't do video anymore. People are like, we missed the video, so we added it into our page.
I think it's an interactive thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and that too. I mean, like, I feel like I like to put a face to a voice, like that does something for me to like connect with people and to like, so if I'm listening to something, and even if I'm just listening to a podcast, like, we were talking about documentaries and true crime stuff, but like, if I'm listening to a true crime documentary, like, or a podcast, I will like Google like the pictures of the people
Yep, I
they're
do the- I do-
talking
I
about
do the
because
same thing.
I just want that
You wanna
kind of
make
visual
that
reference.
connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. So, so I don't know. I think that it does, and it's obvious that
We're handsome.
We're handed. Well,
Oh.
I feel like where we were in a very audio society for a while. I feel like it's obvious that with TikTok and YouTube, kind of the uptick and all of that, that video is kind of people prefer small, short, kind of video clips of things versus.
Remember Vine?
audio. Yeah.
7 seconds.
That was
Not
the-
7. Not 7 seconds is a little short, but I mean, yeah, people
Well,
are
excuse me. That's the best I can do.
people are kind of into video, so I think
Something to think about.
something
for
to think
sure.
about. I think it would be if you guys just did like a special every year, one.
A Christmas special.
I feel like that would be fun.
Episode
you know, like
350.
the
just
Christmas special.
Yeah.
Comes out in August.
yeah,
Well, thank you for that. That's something to think about, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe for the next 350 episodes, we'll do video.
Well, I have those cameras that don't ever get used, and supposedly at the time they were pretty good cameras.
Are those the mini cams from IBWIP
Yeah.
days? Yeah. Those are aging.
And now
I think those are probably not high def, are they? No.
Oh no, they're high def ones. They're there. But I also have a laptop now that can handle it, whereas the one before I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We had that issue
if
with
we just-
cameras
if-
initially when we first were going to do video, I
Yeah.
think, right?
If we just had
Tim
some,
bought those cameras and the laptops couldn't handle them.
if we just knew like a couple people that could help us with that.
Had a studio? Yeah.
need to
Maybe we
figure
get
it
this
out.
studio finished up. and
Yeah, that's
come
even
on
much
down.
easier. We don't have to invest nothing. We just come over.
Come
there,
on down.
Come to
That's
your
exactly
new
it.
studio.
get some
Yes.
needles, and get down there.
Yes.
Well, Blake, you said last week that you had a conclusion to an epic story with your neighbor.
Yeah, so I was talking a couple weeks ago about the neighbor who doesn't want to talk to me until she wants something, and we have this tree situation that she hates leaves that go into her yard,
Yeah.
which this is Illinois. I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell you're doing.
Right.
So there was an agreement. I'm doing the abridged part of the first part, so I
Thank
can tell you
you.
what I was saying about that. She said that they were going to cut this tree down to the fence line for $150. This lady does not speak English very well at all, and she's had already made the appointment to have it done before she even contacted me.
The
And
tree
we-
is in your yard or
tree,
her
your
yard?
tree.
the tree trunk is right on our fence line, and so it's technically it's mine.
If I'm facing your house, it's on the left or the right?
Left.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Facing the house, yeah. And so the first time I really dealt with her, she's a new neighbor. $75 just puts us on a right foot in case for future endeavors. So then
Future endeavors.
yeah,
You're gonna-
well, future
let her go?
future discrepancies.
Yeah.
So about 3 days later, there's a knock on the door, and I look at my cam, and it's a young gentleman and her. And so, you know me, if you've been to my house, I don't open the front door 9 times out of 10. I just open the garage door. So I go out there, and she comes with her son, and they have a phone in hand. And she's trying to explain to me that she got a text message from the tree
people.
guys, and she wanted me to read it. And her son would speak Russian or whatever to her, and then he would
Translate.
and
Sure.
and she did it broken in English. But so then she started saying $200, and so and she was very adamant about interrupting me anytime I was going to say something. She very much hates these trees in her yard, hates the leaves. And I said, well, I get that. You've said that 100 times now. But and she's like, you look at text. You look at this text. And so I'm trying to read it, and and she's still, as I'm starting to read, I'm not seeing 200 anywhere on this thing.
Yeah.
And she keeps interrupting me while I'm trying to read it, and so finally, and to the point where I was like, her son was there, and he was trying to
Yeah,
mitigate. He was
right,
trying to, and it
right.
wasn't, he's about 20 years old, and at one point she sticks the phone up by my face and she says, "Can you read? Can you read? You need without glasses?" And I was like, "I could read if you would stop moving the fucking phone all over the place
Right.
and interrupting me." So I read it, and it said we can do the pine tree for $150, which she wanted it trimmed or whatever. Which is not the kind of tree that's involved with me.
That's not your tree.
And it was $375 for the tree in question. And she didn't. And I was like, "Why are you even saying $200? Because that that doesn't add up to any of this stuff."
Right.
And luckily, with her son's help, we came up to make her understand that they weren't going to do that tree for $150.
Yes,
No matter what
right.
she thought the conversation with, that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And so she said, we do $175 each. And I said, no, I was $75. I didn't really want to even spend
Right.
that.
Whatever
Right.
is bothering her,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother
No.
you. You're doing this as a favor to kind
Right.
of help
Sure,
maintain
get off
this
on the right
Show
foot.
goodwill.
Yes,
to
goodwill
a-
towards
to
Russians.
a
So
neighbor.
now the price is more than doubled for you.
Yeah,
essentially.
it's
Right,
like,
right.
But
nah, I'm out now.
150 chopped in half. That to me, that would have never taken place in the first place.
No.
No tree surface
No
is coming
ways,
out for
yeah.
150.
And I knew
Yeah,
that because
right.
about 2 years ago we had somebody come out and quote how much it would be to put it down to the stump, and it was like $750.
Easily.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I knew
so to
that
trim to the fence line.
I knew that she
gonna
was going to
yeah.
be super insane. What she was talking about was not anywhere near right. But at the time, I'm mowing. It's hot outside. She doesn't speak English, and she's very. There are those people that when they're trying to explain something or have a conversation with you, and they want to be right, and they will be right. They will not shut up. They will not give you a chance
Right.
to, and that's
Yeah.
what the kind of situation was.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of frustrated, like throughout the night after this all happened. Molly had come outside, and she was trying to understand too. And,
Right.
And I finally just said no. I said I'm not going to do that. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. She said, well, I do not like that tree. I don't. I was like, well, if you don't like that tree, I didn't say this, but
Yeah.
if you don't like that tree, there's $375. You do what
Yeah.
You have your own
Right.
money.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Pay
would
for
she-
the whole thing then, if that's.
Would they still need your consent to do that though? Since it's
That's the
insurance?
thing is they would have needed because it's on my property, and she had already made the appointment without even asking me. And they even told the lady that they had to
Someone
get
for
my-
that company has to come over and you have to
Yeah, yeah.
sign.
Sign something.
Right.
Yeah.
If they paid for it, would you just?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
you want
fucking
to?
care.
Yeah, I don't care about this tree,
Yeah.
but I'm not paying for it.
Right.
so.
This tree is not going to be the only place that that disperses leaves
Leaves
under
into
her yard.
Exactly. That's it.
So
What is if she just moved in? We're talking about spring and summer. What are leaves falling under? It
Right.
falls when that happens.
well, yeah, they moved in at the end of last fall.
Okay, so
And
they
so
did
they
get
were-
some of it, or
Yeah, the trees they were already down and everything.
Yeah.
I guess she just doesn't like doing yard work and I'm assuming there's no man like head of the household there because
Are you saying she's single?
yeah, but don't ever bring her over here. You got to start dating.
All right,
So I stuck to my guns. I was trying to be polite, and I honestly, if her son wouldn't have been there, I would have gotten very irritated because when she
Yeah.
shoved the phone in my face
Oh,
and
I'm
was like,
sure, yeah.
"Can you read?"
Right. Mm-hmm.
I was like,
No, it's like, don't say that.
yeah, don't.
you would have kicked her ass.
I
Yeah.
would have.
I'm American. Of course I can read.
So that's just my thing I
Yeah.
had going on.
So I felt like that was an epic conclusion. Is there resolution here or not?
It's not. I'm not giving her any money now to do anything.
So I'm gonna say this is not a conclusion. I feel like we're gonna hear more about this.
Oh, and I told that to Molly. I was like, "This is not over about
Oh,
this
right.
tree.
Yeah.
This is not over about this tree."
nothing's over, right?
Yeah.
No,
it's not like she was
never
just like,
over.
well, I tried. No, I don't think this woman is sounds
yeah,
like
no.
that's going to be her game, but I don't know.
In
for
my
sure.
country, he must die now.
She gonna scoop up the leaves and just throw them over the fence into your yard, Brian?
That's fine because I told Molly I was going to do the same thing.
What?
Just go back and forth, passive aggressively till someone tires.
Yep, and I will not tire. I will not tire.
Yeah, yeah.
You know me well enough.
Smart. This sounds like it's well.
I will. See on
worth
video,
everyone's
people could have
energy.
saw that roll of the eyes.
Yeah, it would have made it all worth it.
So
We also teased last week that Brian and I went on a date. We brought it up briefly too when Amanda was on
Yeah.
4 appearances ago.
Yeah. Listen, I just set up shop.
No, that's fine. You've broken records. Usually people are like, we said, "Could you come do 2 episodes?" And like, I don't even really want to do one. Yeah, you've done 4.
we got you bamboozled.
Hey,
We went to see The Thing. We said right, John
Yeah.
Carpenter's Thing. I just noticed on your phone too. It seems to be the background on your phone,
That
right?
is correct.
Yeah.
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 We
For,
went.
for everybody in podcast.
What is that thing? What is
yeah,
that thing?
that can't see in the
What is
video.
that thing?
The thing.
It's a phone.
I assume is that the main character on the front of your phone there, or not?
There's no
It's just a figure.
declaration of who
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
it's just
We went to AMC to watch The Thing. Is the 35th anniversary?
40th.
40th anniversary. Oh yeah, 1982. God, time goes by fast.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to AMC? I thought you went to that little normal theater. No?
We went to the AMC at Normal.
No, not the little normal theater though. That
No.
They went to the abnormal theater.
Oh,
This
because
was
I was
a-
like, oh, you like that theater? Oh, it's just a normal theater. Never mind.
This was a
There's
this was a Fathom
cool,
event.
like theater that's by
Uptown
Bradley's
Normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ISU, you mean?
Yeah. Or yeah, probably.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
on that
Yeah,
main
that's the theater I
Uptown
thought
Normal
you guys
Street.
were going to. Brian didn't tell me it was
Nope.
the AMC. Oh, because I really like that theater. That's the one I was thinking
Normal
when we were
theater
talking
is a
about
good
theater like 4 weeks ago.
Is it the greatest horror film of all time,
I
Brian?
think it might be.
Might be. Top 5 easily, right?
Easily.
What else is in the top
Easily.
5? Talking to a guru here.
Nightmare on Elm Street for me. A lot of people love The Exorcist. I'm not a huge fan of The Exorcist. It's just okay. Halloween, of course.
And when you said Nightmare on Elm Street, you mean the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the 2010 remake or any of the sequels.
Well, I think 3 is beloved, right?
3 is beloved. It
is
is one of my
beloved.
favorites.
And New Nightmare, I think, is pretty good. Personally, I like New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yep. Big fan.
I will say that I did like the reboot, too. I thought Jackee Hurley was very good. I know people don't like
I
it.
have not
but
even seen it. Brian saw it and spoke so poorly. I have never even seen it.
Jackie Earl Haley is not the problem in that movie.
Okay. Well, I think I think overall
it's the
he
direction
is great.
of it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it had promise when they first talked about it, but yeah, I think it's the direction and
Use of CGI.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on Children of the Corn?
It's
Good
okay.
question.
It's okay.
But I
What-
love Freddy vs. Jason.
What's your take on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
It's pretty good. It would definitely be in the top 5
Okay.
discussion, probably.
Okay. I've seen that one.
The original.
Yeah, the original, not the Rob
Not
Zombie.
the 20
This year.
remakes, reboots.
This year
whatever.
came out with, all right?
Yeah.
I thought the one with Jessica Biel was good. I like that one.
I like that one. The remake.
And then the prequel of that was not good. I didn't think.
Nope.
And then they had one come out this year, right? It was like kind of a requel kind of thing. What do you guys think about that? On the one for Netflix?
Didn't watch
see
it.
No, I
Didn't
haven't
watch
seen
it?
No.
No interest. Because I had heard beforehand that it tested so horribly. They knew they weren't going to make any money, so they just sold it to Netflix.
Wow, that is a very bad sign.
So I was just like, there's no reason for me to watch this.
What was that?
The new Texas
They
Chainsaw.
made the new Texas Chainsaw, which is doing the Halloween thing where they just pretend none of the other sequels happened, and this is a follow-up to the original one.
Oh, okay.
And they made it. They tested it. It did horribly. And they're like, we're not going to make any money. So the best way for us to make money is just to sell it to Netflix.
right? Yeah.
I saw it. I thought it was pretty dumb, but I had fun watching it. It was stupid.
Yeah,
it was
just-
a
yeah.
dumb movie, but there's some pretty fucked up graphic
like
shit.
Texas Chainsaw 2.
Yeah, like even that's the one with Chop Top. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Is that a good? I might have to go rewatch it.
It's super campy.
I
It's
feel
great.
like it takes a big left
Yeah.
turn, like as far as campiness versus pure terror. Blake, what's the last horror film you saw?
Last horror movie I saw was probably, I don't remember the name of it. It was some camp and girls camp or something. And
Sounds good. This is not. Now, this is not a porno film.
no,
this is a horror.
no, we watched it up at Shannon and Amy's up in Wisconsin. He was a big horror.
That's been a
buff.
while ago. Then
Sleepaway Camp?
It was like a 1 and 2, right? There was like one was really good and one was kind of stupid. Or they were both. They're both B movie. I mean, it's like a B movie. I think maybe that's what it was. I don't know. There was
Sleepaway Camp, maybe.
Something like
Camp's
that.
iconic, though.
I think that's
In the
what,
horror,
Did-
in the horror world.
Did the girl
like,
have a
Sleepaway-
dick at the end?
I think so. Yeah.
That's Sleepaway Camp.
It's
Yep.
very iconic in the
Yep.
horror world.
Very few horror films end with a girl with a dick. So that's probably the one you saw.
Shannon pushed it in the the DVD. He's like, "You're gonna like the end."
And then he hit the pause button. The movie was 4 hours long.
That's funny.
It is pretty funny. Anyway, I enjoyed, and I think it was an important step in Brian and I's friendship to make the trek together to Bloomington. And I tricked
Yeah.
Brian. He doesn't know this, but I tricked him into talking a lot about his past podcast successes. It was very interesting. It was very interesting to hear him talk about that stuff.
No.
It interests me quite a lot in the things he has accomplished, but I tricked him into it.
I was like, I don't know. It's all horrible.
No, it was great. He talked about a lot of people that people have been inspired from the old podcast, Drunken Zombie podcast, and people who have gone on to do really cool things, and some of the cool things they did back in the day. It was very interesting to hear him talk about it.
Yeah. It was fun. Those were fun
Awkward.
years. They were fun years though. I mean, we had a blast with the boys. Like it was
The
good times.
boys.
The boys. It was. It was
Now
me,
you guys are known as
me and the boys.
Nah.
Yeah, when I say I'm gonna go do the podcast with the boys, you guys are the new
Hey,
boys.
we're the boys.
That's a
You're
great
new
honor.
boys.
The
Yeah.
boys.
So
It's a great day for the boys.
I like having a group of podcasting boys. I have now way more of a main role on podcasts than I ever thought back then.
Or ever wanted.
Back
I went to a estate sale yesterday, and one of your former co-hosts, Randy.
Oh yeah.
He works for Midwest Estate. Sorry to blow up his spot, or Docs, as the kids say. But I know he works for this company. I think it's really cool because you said Randy's house is just like filled to the brim with cool and interesting
Yes.
pop.
Yeah.
I was like, working for an estate sales company was an awesome way to add to that collection.
Just keep acquiring.
See,
Absolutely.
and I don't think he makes any money. I think he just works in trade, probably.
That would be smart. It would totally make sense.
probably
Anyway,
does.
he wasn't at it yesterday. I think he had to go work for his other place that he's been working at Acme Comics for a long time. But I know sometimes I will run into your ex
Yeah.
co-host over
Yeah.
there at the estate sales, which is something I like doing.
Yeah, that's fun.
Anyway,
Oh, that's adorable.
Yes.
It is-
yeah.
I heard
Just-
you mention that Jason paid for me to get into the movie.
oh yes, yeah.
Yes. How'd your date go?
So I was like, I had to put out.
He said, "Would you like some popcorn?" I said, "I love it." He said, "Reach from the bottom."
All the buttery goodness is at the bottom.
I said, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Ladies and gentlemen,
Big old piece of fleshy popcorn. It is the greatest thing, though, because the horrible oil butter substitute is a natural lubricant.
Right.
You think
Yeah.
as a man, that's what you would.
Unlike water.
It's not a drying agent like water. That's right.
Yeah, but there's that salt. There's
Oh,
the
yeah.
salt. Okay, like
that's
I
not
just
good.
feel like that doesn't sound like
Hey,
a good
honey,
idea.
you can't have the sweet without the sour. All right. Today we discussed the pilot episode of Jackee, which is called Jackee. It's not Jackee. It's Jackee,
Huh.
Blake. Mm-hmm. From the year of our Lord 1900 again, plus 87. Still a great year.
The same year.
Yeah.
We're in the same year as we were last week. I was 12 years old. You were 6.
That's right.
Amanda, I think, was like 3. And you were 7.
Yep.
Yep. Look at that.
Was it 7 or 8?
7.
Okay.
But depending on which portion.
Yeah, what
Great
part of,
movie.
I
Great
guess.
movie. 7 was a great movie. What's in the box, man?
The first 6 months of the year, I am one age.
7.
In the next
Yeah.
6 months, I am another age.
Fair. That is fair.
I turn right at the beginning of the year, so it's pretty much the whole year. I'm
So you just had a birthday then?
It's
going
happening this
to.
week.
This week? What are you
Yes.
doing for the birthday?
I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out.
What's something you'd want to do?
I wanted to go to one of the drive-ins. Hopefully, there was something good planned,
Yeah.
but there's not.
There's one up is it in Wabash, Illinois?
Sterling.
Maybe, but there's one I go to in Sterling.
That's a hell of a hike, yeah.
It's an hour and a half.
Well, is it they play new stuff up there, or would it?
They do new stuff. But they close out every year by having a Dusk Till Dawn horror night, so they show all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
those
a
are
long
fun.
night.
So not just the film Dusk Till Dawn, but they show like
Horror movies.
Usually
Horror
4 movies.
but all horror films.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
trailers and stuff in between.
Yeah.
And
How do they do up there?
Yeah,
For
it's
that
usually
weekend,
pretty
it's
big.
usually really pretty crowded.
Well, when you said trailers, are you talking about like old trailers and stuff?
Yes. Like grindhousey.
That's pretty
like,
cool.
Yeah.
And if that's actually where my head was going was those
Yes.
fake trailers
Yes.
for Grindhouse. The only one they made from those, it was the Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino film. The only one they made was Machete, right?
there's technically 2 of them.
What was the other one they
So in Canada, they held a contest for you to make your own fake trailer and
Okay.
send it into the contest. And then whoever won, they would show the trailer with the movie throughout Canada. And the people who won made a trailer for a movie called Hobo with a Shotgun.
made? Rutger Hauer.
With he was in the movie
Okay.
because they made the trailer with just some people they knew. It won. It went around with it, and then they got enough financing to actually make the movie.
But that,
With
that-
Rutger Hauer.
But that kind of came from that.
Yep.
I had
Yep.
no idea. Blake, you ever hear of these?
Nope. I have no idea.
But you know Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Him and Robert Rodriguez, they both made these movies.
So I hope you know Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I've never seen
Otherwise,
those
the
movies.
opening of this show makes no
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah, I've never watched Pulp Fiction.
I do-
but
I
know
do
this,
like
I
the
know
one-
this the scene by heart, but I've never watched Pulp Fiction.
I do like that when I come in, though, I make you laugh with my John Travolta impression
Yes.
every time.
Yeah. Every once in a while, someone will do a John Travolta, and it is always a treat. So thank you for doing that up top. But
I can't do a Samuel L. Jackson, so it always has to just
You
be a
well,
straight read. So.
you can, but
Just gonna say fuck every other word.
But they made these 2 movies that they play at the same time. They called it Grindhouse. Is basically, and they show them back to back, but in between they showed a bunch of fake trailers for horror films.
Oh, okay.
They were like supposed to be like these over the top, gory but funny trailers, and they went ahead and from that actually made a couple movies. Started with the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So
Yeah.
You should
it was
watch
super
Death
fun.
Proof. I think you'd like Death
What is
Proof.
it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Death Proof?
Death
It's
Proof?
one of the Grindhouse movies. It's Quentin Tarantino's movie with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kills people with a car.
Okay.
Of the two, it's the one I like more. For
Why,
sure.
why would you say that? I should watch that.
Because I think it's got like cars and stuff. You like cars, don't you? Don't you like cars?
Don't you like hurting people with cars, Blake?
Yeah. It's Kurt Russell.
like
Everybody
running
loves
people
Kurt
off the
Russell.
road?
Don't you know what Brian's saying here? Is it Brian's words,
Ooh,
not
that
mine?
was dark. Dark.
Brian's
Anyway,
idea.
this bitch across the next door to me wants my tree cut down.
Honestly, I just put it together.
That was dark.
I apologize.
Oh, that's good.
I know we did it last week, but I want to do it again. Let's go back to 1987. And to do so, we'll talk about a couple things that happened that year to put us in the mind frame of when Jackee was made, because to do it any other way, that would be uncivilized. Right?
Yeah, we can't look at this pilot from 1987 and judge it based on today's standards in 2022. It was a completely different world. It was a completely different world.
It was a big hair world.
Yes, we did not have Egyptian linen sheets
right.
Back in 1987, right? In 1987, we didn't have things like
Thank you
chalk.
Thank you for having these ready, by the way.
chalk. Well, I think it's better when I'm not on the fly.
Listen.
We didn't have chalk, right?
They had shoulder pads.
They had a lot of shoulder pads, but we don't have those now. That's very
Yes.
good. You know what? You did it the way, the opposite way I usually
Yes,
do.
I'm going with what they did have back then.
And I like
You
that.
like
I like
that?
that. You know what?
A lot of the companies back then that were making shoulder pads saw they were going out of
Yeah.
fashion and converted to making chalk, which I think is what
Right.
Which is where Blake was. Yeah.
So I have a question. I don't mean to question your research.
No, that's fine. I enjoy that.
I see Jack A as being listed as 1989 on IMDb.
Yeah, I don't have that, but you might be right, and I will ask Blake to edit that comment out of the show.
I'm just questioning. I'm just wondering if we're in the right year in our minds.
Boy,
I do think
But we're here, so
But
we
we're
just gotta-
here.
just have to
Can we
live in
fast forward a
1987.
couple
now
years
you
forward?
Yeah, you definitely got me wondering now. But go ahead, Blake. I'm
Right?
sorry.
Oh yeah, no, just I mean they didn't have those kind of things. And you
Well,
could-
that is why it did feel a little more 89, maybe. From
there was a lot
the-
more. There was a lot more shiny spandex back in
Yes,
'89, whereas
yes.
now it's just
Yes.
it's blacks and grays in exercise clothes.
Yeah,
Amanda's wearing her exercise clothes today.
right.
Shit, he's right.
Went to the grocery this morning.
It is
and didn't
1989.
have
I
time
totally.
Is
fucked
it
up.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
fuck this show. Fuck it up.
Brian,
Burn it down.
this is why you don't want the movie TV guy on.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna,
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
yeah, you're totally right. I'm actually gonna pivot here and do a little research while we're doing the show.
Oh,
There we go.
shit.
There we go. There we go.
So well,
So you-
Brian gets the
Yeah.
record for fucking up the show the most.
There you go.
we'll
We're
take
never
it.
No, you
gonna
know what?
This is a Wild Wolford episode.
Think of it this way. We're keeping him on his toes and making sure, because at this point, after 350
Right?
years,
Is he phoning it in?
He
Are
might-
you
he might-
phoning it
yeah,
in,
phoning
sir?
it in.
What? Good God.
probably-
That's all
he was-
right.
he was
I
probably
phoned
watching-
it in on the challenge this week, too.
he was probably watching porn while he was doing all the.
Oh, I did have a porn
Oh
story.
yeah, tell us the porn
yeah.
story.
So
Let's
I
do
don't
that.
know. Well, Amanda's not going to want me to tell this story. I don't know how
Lord.
often you two visit the porn hubs.
I use X Hamster, but yes,
I was looking for something yesterday on there.
So over on Challenged, me and Tim were talking about something, and we introduced Amanda to the idea of stuck porn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
I know what I have. An
She
idea
didn't
of
know what it was.
What is it?
Yeah.
Stuck porn.
Stuck, as in like I'm stuck on you.
Well,
No.
just I'm
Not
stuck in
not
general.
like-
I'm stuck.
Not like the
And then
Band-Aid brand. No,
Okay.
no.
So Amanda didn't know this was a thing, and we just randomly brought it up, and she's like, "What?" So then we went down this rabbit hole of telling her what stuck porn,
Yeah.
which is usually involves some sort of stepmother who gets stuck in some weird like,
Like
I'm-
underneath the couch because
yes.
she's looking. Okay, yep, okay, I'm with you now.
yeah, like I'm
Now-
stuck under the couch, and then
I about died.
her stepson will just come up and start fucking her.
Yeah, now I'm with you now. Now I'm with
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I've seen a couple.
It's a
of those.
very weird and very
It is
unique
weird.
kink for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, I had no idea that any of this existed. So
Porno is very interesting
last-
that way. It's like a lot of times they're
Well,
like, there needs to be some production value here. We need to give them a story.
Well,
and there's 90 seconds
yeah.
of setup for something. And I usually is like, okay, this woman is clearly stuck, and now she's getting a red hot cock rammed up her asshole. You know, but there's something that happened before that. And usually I skip to the asshole part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I need to start watching the beginning part. And how did this? I
Yeah.
know she's stuck.
Yeah.
But how did that happen? And why is she consenting to this? Because very few times is there stuck porn and I'm being raped. There's
Right.
there's not a lot of
it's
there's not a lot.
no. It's
Everyone's
like I'm
consenting,
stuck, and
yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, all right." Like, I mean, it's
Until
yeah.
the guy comes that you have to call on the phone to come over here and unstick me.
Yeah.
You better stick me yourself.
right,
Right?
yeah.
That's funny.
It's very, very
No,
interesting to
He
me.
usually starts out with, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And then,
Yeah, that's the famous
What
line.
are you fiddling around back there?
yeah.
What are you
boy.
doing?
So she was,
And you're always like stuck with no pants on either.
And
Or,
you're-
or,
Like, what
or
is
pants
that?
that are easily torn apart so that you
Yeah.
can enter it.
or
Fucking Hulk or something.
the dad won't be home for working late tonight. The dad always ends up working
or
late tonight.
somebody could come along
Why
at
does
any
it-
moment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's that too.
And yeah, it's like the combination of like step sibling kids.
Yeah.
Parents,
Yeah, step incest
and
is big
then
right now. I don't
stuck.
understand it.
Like, what is that? Like, I mean, it's not just one or the other. It's like this kind of merge combination of things.
It's like the peanut butter and chocolate from the Reese's peanut butter cup that we're talking about. It's the best
Yeah.
of both worlds coming together to
Yeah.
have you have
Is
an
it
orgasm.
though? Is it the
Well,
best?
for some people?
I find the incest thing a little weird.
At the end of the
Yeah.
year, they release the search info on these sites. You'd be like,
Yeah.
this year, people.
Oh, people are
96% people want incest,
Right.
and then there's and then other people are saying, "Oh, we like Asian porn," you know, and all they come out with all this stuff, and it's like I wonder where stuck is. Incest does seem to be high.
Yeah.
I wonder where the stuck porn
I'm
is.
gonna isolate that. Incest seems to be hot.
That'd be our new drop.
It does. I just don't understand it.
But what's your story? Because you said you had worked with a lady. Is that the story you're going to tell?
Yeah. Well, no, this was the story. Just
Okay.
that-
Yeah.
He was talking about the lady that he worked with, but this was the story that he was saving for.
Oh yeah, the story
Yeah.
last time was like I worked with a lady, and of course I went to look up her porno because if you know someone and have met them,
Yes.
of course you want to see them sucking and fucking.
And this is the argument that me and Amanda have had. Not that we
Right.
haven't had like an argument.
No.
But I've brought up, and
Discussion.
she's like, "Why would you want to watch that?" I'm like, "You're telling me if you had access to watch somebody that you know have sex, you wouldn't do it?" And she's like, "No." And I said, "You are a goddamn liar."
I'm not though. I don't need that mental picture. Like I just and I think maybe that's because I know how like my brain works, and it creates like a still images, and then it's like
So when you see them, that's all you see.
that would be it.
Yeah.
Like that would be it for me.
Yeah.
And I don't need that.
you go see James later, and all you can think about is dirty fucking hairy asshole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants that.
So how was her performance?
Nah, not good.
Yeah.
She was a
She was in a
stock
pantyhose.
pantyhose. Yeah,
Pantyhose
stockings.
fetish.
Did she win an
So-
AVN award?
No,
No.
she wasn't quite in that that upper echelon.
That caliber.
AVN, I believe, stands for Adult Video News. I think the N is news.
Okay.
You know what the news is? We're all getting fucked. How much news can there
Hello.
possibly be there, right?
It's somebody's news.
Are there a lot of breaking information when it comes to fucking and sucking? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, I'm back
Maybe
in.
there's new things.
I'm back in 1989, and I'm deep in it right now.
89.
All right, so here, I will mention some 89 stuff real quick. Sometimes we default to like the movies of a given year.
Sure.
These are all movies from August of 1989.
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally. Speaking of fucking
there we go.
orgasms, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine having a pastrami sandwich so good it makes you come in your chair? Jesus.
I don't like
Been
pastrami.
there
but-
before.
We've all been there. Remember that scene, though, right, Blake?
Yeah,
Can you I almost asked you to reenact the scene.
I would, but I gotta pee.
I'll have what Blake's having.
Pete?
Yes, I'll have pee.
Speaking of pee, we had in between recordings, we had a mysterious puddle of water right down by Jason's chair.
3 dogs in the house and a mysterious puddle. I bet it was a dog.
Think so?
Yeah. Jason said he's going to adopt that puppy from him.
Yeah, I'll have what that puppy's having. Pee. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck came out there.
Oh,
Okay.
Uncle
Yeah.
Buck, yeah.
Good old Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. My favorite when I was, 'cause I'm still kind of fat, but when I was young, I was maybe even a little fatter. And I'd be like, you know what looks awesome about Uncle Buck? Uncle Buck's making a huge fucking pancake.
Yeah.
Holy shit, would I like to get my hands on a big fucking pancake like that, right?
I think the ones at IHOP are too big. I can never finish all three of them.
Pancakes are the ultimate example of diminishing returns.
Right.
When you get a big fat
Yeah.
stack of pancakes, it's glorious
Oh,
to the
yeah.
eyes. You have the butter dripping
Yeah.
down the side, the glaze of the maple syrup, and you take
Delish.
3 or 4 bites. You're like, God damn, that's good. And you take this 5th or 6th bite. You're like, I never want to see a fucking
Right.
Can't
Yeah.
eat,
pancake again
yeah,
for
I
the rest of
can't
my
eat
life.
anymore. Yeah.
Isn't that a Mitch Hedberg joke?
Oh, is it? I may have subconsciously. But is it that? How close was I to it?
I believe his is like pancakes. When you start out, you love them. By the end, you're sick of them.
Okay, so
That sounds more like Mitch.
similar. Yeah. Okay. Well, I apologize. Parallel thinking. Chris.
Pancakes are good, but the old 96er from the Great Outdoors.
Gotta eat the gristle too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen that, Blake? They have
Right
the
outdoors.
96-ounce steak, but you got to eat everything, including the fat and the gristle. And you get what do you get? Like a nice hat?
Your name on the
Yeah.
wall.
A top
picture
hat,
on
I
the
think.
wall.
I would love to. I like eating gristle. I like it. I think it's delicious.
I do too.
No idea.
I like the nice little fat section on the side of your steak.
Yep.
She hates fat stuff, including me. And so when we have steak, I just tell her, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna throw that fat in my mouth and just chew on it for like half an hour. It's gonna
I like
be
it when
great.
it's marbled in. It's a little tougher when it's on its own.
No.
I went to a place in Chicago. There's a Hispanic neighborhood. My buddy lives there. And they will take a pig, and they'll slaughter a pig every day, and they'll make chicharrones, like pork rinds and
Yeah,
stuff, and they'll do tacos. They'll do pig skin tacos, which I've had before and I like.
Yeah.
But they also do pig fat tacos, where it's just the fat. It's almost too much.
Oh, too
much,
yeah.
No, too
Would
much.
you eat the steak fat?
try it.
Would you eat it? Yeah.
I'd try it.
It's not
I don't
bad.
and pork belly does nothing for me because
Oh.
it's that giant fat and I can't do it. Like as much as like the foodie in me wants to be like that's probably good. I just like
I love it.
I can't do
pork
fat.
belly's the shit.
I just can't do fat. Fat on meat is like it's a texture thing.
That's what she calls me, fat on meat.
Is that what she calls you? Blake said he likes the gristle. Do you eat the fat on the steak too?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh no,
Yeah, you're the man.
I can't do it.
Blake,
Come
Blake,
on.
Blake, you're the man.
Oh man, stop.
That's why I love this guy. That's why I got him a big old tub of ice cream.
I appreciate that. I
Right.
can't. I'm gonna as
What
I'm
kind is it? What
as
flavor?
as I'm feverishly uploading and editing and posting
And jerking off.
show notes tonight before.
8:00.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be eating some of that.
Lathering yourself in dreamsicle.
Love it. It's
Last
my favorite.
film I'll mention is Batman.
Oh yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Coming back.
Okay, there's a great question. So he's coming back in what movie?
The Flash.
And the Flash stars who?
Ezra Miller.
And Ezra Miller, by all accounts,
Is a problem.
is coming out to be a huge piece of shit.
Oh, huge
Oh,
piece of shit.
really?
Yeah,
Right.
I know
Oh,
about
have
that.
you not heard
anything.
this?
No.
No.
Yeah, so DC, I feel like every step of the way for the past 10 years is just like tripping over their own feet.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
They're
Something
tr-
always goes
They're
wrong.
trying to create this thing like MCU.
We said Ezra Miller was terrible for this role in the first place because
Should they
not
have-
my Flash.
well, should they have
not
just-
my Flash?
The TV version. Would you have
Yes.
liked to seen him in
Yes,
the Okay, yeah, why
100%.
not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck?
I like that.
Don't
Not my
fuck with that.
Flash.
Yep.
Yeah, don't mess with that.
Is that movie going to come out? The
Supposed
Flash.
to come out 2023.
All right, what happened to Ezra Miller? Can I get a please?
Oh, so much
What?
stuff.
He
It's
keeps
been more.
like
getting
doing
a-
like he like chokes people at bars and shit.
And then when he got arrested, and then he like was going off on the cops and saying he was non-binary, and they had to refer to him as blah blah blah. And
then there's reports he's grooming some like 18-year-old.
well, I can't blame him for that. I mean, you got to treat.
It's legal.
You got to teach him young.
There are some weird reports around him in people that are younger. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
like people love headlines.
Oh, sure,
and,
sure,
and they
sure.
twist shit.
Yeah.
But it's derivative of something.
There's got to be at least some truth,
But-
some incident. One.
I'm sure it's not
incident,
as
yeah.
bad as what's
Right,
being reported,
sure.
but I'm sure it is fucked up.
Yeah.
And this guy should be helped. He's
yeah.
something's going on with this kid.
Yeah.
But there
well,
keeps being
let's be
problems.
real. He looks crazy. I mean, like he plays a good crazy because he probably maybe like.
But there keeps being problems with him interacting with people in public. He's
Yeah.
physically assaulting people.
Yeah,
and
it's
all kinds of crazy.
Terrible. Okay.
Shit. So
Well, awesome.
Lock him up.
Yeah.
Lock him up.
Yeah.
lock them up.
Lock them.
Yeah.
I
Come on.
Yeah,
apologize.
yes, he's a
sorry.
them. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I didn't know how this would affect the movie. And it's like, if this fucks the movie up, I'd be like, what a goddamn waste of having Michael Keaton come back in his iconic role just to throw it away because this kid's a fucking idiot.
Right.
You know?
That's show business, man.
He is also coming back as Batman in the Batgirl movie. So,
A Batgirl movie?
Yeah.
Do we want that?
yeah.
Who's Batgirl?
I don't remember.
Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
It's not Alicia
Is Batgirl Barbara Gordon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Right.
Yes.
And she becomes the Oracle at some point, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
After Joker shoots her.
come on, Blake, you know this.
In the Killing Joke.
Yes. It is Leslie Grace.
Don't
I was
know
close.
who it is. Blake was close.
I named a woman.
She was just in that In the Heights movie.
Okay, who's that? Lin-Manuel Miranda, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Why do we choose to watch Jackee? Do you know, Amanda? Do you remember?
Maybe because it is a pilot that never went to series.
Good job.
It is a pilot for a series that, it is a pilot that is a spin-off of a series that actually aired.
2 for 2.
And you can find it on the internet
3 for 3. One more.
for free.
Yay! I was supposed to do this.
Good job. You can find the entire episode of Jackee by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Or go to YouTube. Amanda?
Do to it, to you, to it.
Yeah, that's pretty right. I
I
guess.
think after 4 straight episodes.
Right?
I feel like that was the test to have her permanently on the show, and she fucked it up. Really dropped the ball there to be on this
Yep.
very successful.
Why you got to make me look
I
stupid
think
for all my friends?
Or do you think I did it on purpose? So,
We'll give you the benefit. Summary of the pilot. Sandra moves to the big city and things get hairy when her new job isn't what she expected. Now she must spend the next half hour figuring out how she's going to make it in the Big Apple. The part where it says figure out the next half hour, obviously this takes over the course over a few days, but it's almost meta to the point where they're saying it's
Right.
a half hour.
Yeah.
You want to grade this?
I'm
Blake?
giving it a C-.
this is
Yeah.
real
First
bad.
of all, I don't like the hair. The way the word hair is in there.
Right.
Just the D-
Yeah.
of this. Like,
F. Full F.
yeah.
So when things
Full
get
frontal?
Yep.
when things get hairy, you don't
Yeah,
like that.
I don't like that.
'Cause what does it make you think of?
Well, it makes it seem, I don't know, it's not hygienic, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting facts, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is part of the show where Jason, yes, let's give it up for Jason. Jason has scoured the internet to find out facts about this show that you may not know. Unfortunately, all his facts he found were from 1987, not 1989. Please don't taint someone else's experience. Keep your comments to yourself and enjoy Interesting Facts.
Do they have interesting facts on Pornhub?
We need to look into that.
I was on Pornhub, but you know
What were you looking up?
I'll tell you right now, actually. There's a lady in Jackee, and she's an actress. Her name is Terry Weigel, and she is listed as Gorgeous Girl. And if I had to guess, she was the girl that when we first go to the health salon, the health spa or whatever.
It goes on top of the weight thingy?
Right, she walks right in front of Jackee and gets on the scale.
Okay.
If I had to assume, that's who that was. And Terry Weigel has been in 115 different credits. And over the past, let's say, Lingerie Busters, let's see, Savage Beach. I would say the first Wicked Fascination, we'll say, 1991 until 2018. She has been an adult film actress.
Oh, there we go.
She hung
Crossover.
She hung up the lips there in 2018, huh?
Well, it's only been a couple years. She was in Sex School Teacher's Pet. She's also been in Virgin Hunters 3, Agents of Passion.
Nice. That's one of my favorites.
She's been in Lesbian Babysitters Volume 5. I tell you what, Volume 3 is where it jumps.
Yeah.
You get to Volume 5, and it's just you're seeing the same
Yeah,
shit.
it's the same.
It's like, do we have anything more to say?
I like
Part five?
how on porns they called them volumes, like like it's an encyclopedia.
They're really churching it up.
Yeah, like it's an encyclopedia. Like this is a volume.
They do that, so what they do is there is no storyline. They're just taking a group of different scenes and putting them on the same box.
Right. You've got Another Man's MILF that she was in.
Not Another Man's Milk.
That's Two Chicks, Same Time, Part 5. Giant Jugs, I Crave Sex, Please Bang My Wife, Talk Dirty to Me 14. She's also in Buttman at Nudes A Poppin' 10.
Wow.
Whoa.
I got that.
They got up to 10?
I got that one on DVD. That's got the Blu-ray. That shit.
I'm just going to name 10 more. Lips Wide Shut, Gangbang 2000, Overtime 29, North Pole, and let's see, Dick and Jane Do the Strip.
Did you get an interview with her?
Oh boy, wouldn't that be great? I think she is on Twitter.
I would assume so. She's
I do believe I sent her a message. I've yet to hear back, but wouldn't that be great to talk to a porno actress?
Oh, I would love it.
The natural progression on the show for interviewing people are grown men, grown women. A couple weeks ago, a 12-year-old boy.
12-year-old boy.
And then now a porno actress.
Yes.
So that would be great.
Yes.
How we are not just rolling in podcast money, I don't understand it.
That's what I would like to have.
Got to get to that video.
Interesting facts. Release date May 11th, 1989. Where did I come with 87 before? How did I do that?
I don't know.
This pilot was a proposed spin-off of the show 227.
I know what it was.
What was it?
It was Candace Cameron. Messed up your mind. You just wanted to hang out in 1987 some more.
That's right. I did have. Everyone my age was like, you know what? I love Stephanie. I got a crush on Stephanie. Not this guy. Candace Cameron.
Yeah.
It's too bad you missed out. Stephanie had a huge meth problem.
That was my only window of opportunity.
You could have just
come to Beacon.
Yeah. All the meth you could want.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Trying to take the meth away, and she's like, "How rude!"
Pin a rose on your meth. That wasn't as good as yours. It is this episode is included in the syndicated runs of 227, and in most airings, the opening and closing credit sequences are replaced with those of 227. Fact.
Interesting.
This one. Well, you can't say that.
That's it.
That's it. Blake's
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry.
You come in here and you want to talk smut for 4 hours, and then the simple rule that we have is no. And he even he blatantly says interesting. He doesn't even try to divert around it.
No. I'll have what Blake's having. He's leaving.
That's a meltdown.
I'll have He's out of here. Let's see here. The character C.J. Banks is named after the alias writer Michael G. Moye used as a creator of 227. I think this was the guy who was in charge of the porno company.
No.
Oh,
Fact.
all right.
Stars. It is funny that there was a porno company involved, and then
See?
a lady who would be who would get paid for sucking and fucking.
Very true.
Stars the titular Jackee Harry as Sandra. You know her from Another World, Sister, and of course 227. She was the breakout star.
Yeah.
Fact. Relations between Marla Gibbs, who played Mary Jenkins on 227, and Jackee Harry were rather tense by the 4th season of 227, mainly because Jackee's character Sandra had become the breakout star of the series. Fact. The pilot had a plum slot, right, and which is Blake's search term on pornography. I don't know if you guys knew
Plum
that.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
plum slot, not spot.
Oh, plum slot.
I forgive you, Brian.
He's back.
I
Thanks,
mean,
buddy.
I understand that this plane is not going to get back down if I'm not here. So
The pilot was aired right after the Cosby Show and finished 5th in the ratings, but NBC still declined to pick it up. End of interesting fact. All right, Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if we're gonna bring it back. Jason got some Twitter responses.
Wow, listen to that remix.
All right. It's beautiful.
I'm gonna do Lollapalooza next year, or
You're gonna be on one of the side stages.
yeah,
early in the day, but it still counts.
yeah.
You still play Lollapalooza.
Still play Lollapalooza. Still have a parking pass.
That's right.
Oh, one quick thing. Just I hate to derail this whole show,
Let's
but
talk about your parking passes. Yeah, let's do it.
Huh?
Let's talk about your parking passes. Let's do it.
I forgot to mention to everybody that I am now officially an ordained minister.
Oh yeah.
And so
Wow.
I'm going to do weddings and also going to become an expert of pet baptisms.
Okay.
So, is there somewhere in the Bible where it says your animals, you will see them again in heaven?
Yeah, over the Rainbow Bridge.
What is the what chapter of the Bible is it?
The 7th.
7th chapter. Arguably my favorite, and I'm surprised I didn't know this already.
Well, they talk a lot about a snake during that chapter, and so you kind of get diverted.
Well, our friend Kevin Clark today, as a time of recording, is having his daughter baptized in Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Oh, is he?
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's
In the lake itself.
what they do is they take an infant and
Right.
they chain a cinder block to her leg
Right.
and throw it in the bottom of a Crystal
Yeah,
Lake.
and wait for Jason to bring her back up.
Right.
And if the child is
And
brought
come
back up, then
you're good to
wasn't a
go.
witch.
Yes,
then
exactly.
she wasn't a witch. That's right.
Blake, I hate to rain on your parade. Did you know you don't have to be ordained?
I
in the state of Illinois?
I was trying not to rain on his parade.
I would appreciate my thunder not be stole.
Yes,
I appreciate the effort you put into being
In
ordained,
Illinois.
which is what, hitting print on the
Yeah.
thing on the website.
Yeah. But I didn't even need to have to do that.
No, we were married by one of our friends.
Oh. Well, it wasn't my $50. It was somebody else's.
What? Why
So
did
we
you do
paid
that?
Nobody. And
Because I'm going to marry Donna and Bogey at the Moose. They're getting married, and they asked me to
not
wed
necessary.
them.
So these are people.
Let's not tell them that because I want that $50 back.
No, that's fine.
I saw them last night. I was surprised they didn't give
These
it
are
to me.
people from the Moose.
Yeah.
And you know them from the Moose.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time that you've ever seen them in your life has been at the Moose.
Yes.
And are they going to get married at the
Yes.
Moose?
And I am going to after I marry them,
Bar.
I'm going to go around to the back and be the bartender for their reception.
You're gonna bless everybody's drinks.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
I'm gonna play it up.
Now, do you? I don't know who you're talking about. These people. I've been to the Moose a few times.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the Moose as it stands right now.
Yeah, what's your date on your card?
I don't know.
It should be coming
It's
up.
in my car. I have to check it out.
Okay.
But let me ask you this: do these people really exist?
What do you mean?
If you've only ever seen them at the Moose,
Oh, I know. I've seen them outside the Moose.
you drink a lot at the
Right.
Moose.
I've been to their house. I've been to their house.
They are real.
Yeah, they're real.
Okay.
Real.
And why did you mention the part about baptizing animals? Do you plan to do that?
I just think it's kind of cute. It's kind of funny.
Is it included in the thing?
No,
I think that's just called a bath.
exactly.
You're now officially licensed.
And the reason why I derailed this whole show to talk about this is because when you said about the parking pass, that reminded me because if I would have gotten the deluxe package, I would have got a minister parking hook thing for like the handicap things.
I'm important. I'm a minister.
Yeah, I could have parked wherever the fuck I wanted.
Wherever it said clergy parking.
I was gonna
There's
say,
not a lot
yeah.
of those spots around.
I say I don't know. I
But,
wouldn't even know what that sign looks like.
I mean, I went to Catholic school, so I mean, I've seen these signs, but it is literally just by like the church buildings and things. That's about it. They don't have those at the grocery store.
Where could you park then if you had that?
By churches, yeah,
You could park in front of Notre Dame High School.
yeah, you could.
I just figured I'd drive down to Busch Stadium, just park my car right up front of the front door, and be like, "Hey, I'm a minister. I can
clergy-
park here."
Nah, I don't think that's how that works, son.
I say give it a shot.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
tell
I
me
just,
if you had to get your car out of the impound.
right.
No, that's fine. We had mentioned, this was a spinoff of the successful show 227, and it's impossible to say how long that show run. I would guess anywhere between 2 and 150 years. But this was an attempt to spin it off with the character Jackee, or the real life actress named Jackee, which is funny because
Yeah, because that's not her name in the show.
Sandra is her name in
Yeah,
the show.
that's right.
So it's like
How do you put her name as the name of the show, but her
Well,
character's name is?
They do that all the time.
Yeah, that's dumb.
what's a good example?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah,
He's not the Fresh Prince.
I guess that's true.
That's true. Good call.
Did he think did he never call himself the Fresh Prince while being on the show?
No.
I like the part where Carlton ran and you could see all the sets and he kept running through all the sets screaming. Do you remember that episode?
Did Will Smith slap him at the end?
I doubt it.
227 lasted 5 seasons.
Okay, 5 seasons. There you go. That's still good. Pretty good run. We start with the panning shot of the city, And all the shots of the show's lead, still shots, and we get a full-fledged intro in this, though, right?
Yeah.
And most of them seem to be like the pictures seem to be taken from a work environment, which we see later would be the main setting, probably. For
Right,
the show.
and they're like photographs in like squares, and then the border around it are dumbbells, and then it just changes colors.
So like neon and
Yeah.
kind of 90s pastel
Yes.
looking,
Yeah.
even though it's 89. It reminds me of like
Saved by the Bell.
that's exactly
Yes,
what I was going to say. That's
yeah.
exactly right. Sandra Clark from 227. I guess they're out of the D.C. area. She mentioned this show, which I
Yeah.
would not have known otherwise. Just moved to New York, and her furniture got mixed up with that of a pizzeria.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
This
think
is
I would
weird.
prefer this.
Well, I just thought it was odd that like,
is
oh,
weird.
we're moving someone to an apartment.
This is an apartment. Like, but
Somebody-
why did the apartment have a bay window? Like, it was obvious. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it was like a storefront bay window.
It almost looks like it would be more of a pizzeria than an apartment.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we need to save money. We
I
got
don't
this
know.
pizzeria set over here. Just
It's very bizarre.
they delivered the wrong furniture and go.
I think it's
Yeah.
all just a
Yeah.
setup to be like, hey, you know Sandra? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how she's so fucking horny all the time? Like, yeah. What if we gave an excuse for a hot mover guy to come in
Yeah,
here
right.
and her to fucking
Yes.
cream her jeans over, right?
Yeah, maybe.
that was probably the guy she was dating at the time and got him the job. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like,
so.
Could have been.
But the handsome mover does show up, and there was some kind of repacking joke made. Like, he's going to repack, and it's like an innuendo for her,
Yeah.
getting fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's all this show is.
Packing it in.
This show is just one giant sexual innuendo, right?
one after the other.
Yeah.
And this lady, Jackee,
Yeah.
Sandra, whatever, she has the most annoying voice in the world, in my opinion.
That's not how she really talks, but yeah, she does this voice.
This character's voice, it's like this, and I just don't like it.
What do you guys think
Well-
about the voice? Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, Jackee, the whole Jackee thing is a performance.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's like that's kind of a thing. Because for me, it's the sister mom.
Right.
Like,
And she does
that's-
something similar, right?
That it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. That's what I said to Bri. I said it's the exact same character.
This is
'Cause I
almost
just
like
kept being
Medea.
yeah.
Like it's like it's the same.
or like like Andrew Dice Clay,
Yeah,
or like
yeah, yeah.
Larry the Cable
Yeah.
Guy. It's,
Yeah.
it's just we're doing
Gilbert
this.
Godfrey.
Somewhere along
Gilbert
the way,
Godfrey did this shtick, and then that's what he did.
Well, I don't think you
Yeah.
can say shtick anymore. But,
Shtick. Later, shtick.
but somewhere along the way, Jackee Harris said, "What if I do this?" And someone probably said, "That's fucking crazy."
Yeah.
But then
Right.
it worked.
Right.
And she's
Yeah.
like, "What if I never stop doing
Yeah.
it?
Right.
And I just make a bunch
Until
of
I
money?"
stop making money from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but throughout this whole 20-minute pilot, I mean, she is horny all the time, and
Horny AF.
and the references are continuous. Sexual references are innuendos.
Guys-
It's constant.
Last week, Mona, star of the show. This week, Jackee, Sandra, star of the show. Jackee's more horny than Mona, right?
Yeah.
By some miracle of God?
Somehow.
Is she? Would you guys agree or not?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Every man she meets.
Yes. Every
she wants
guy.
to
It
bang.
doesn't matter.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. That
Yeah.
builds my
Yeah.
case. I think, Blake, you're
Yes.
mulling.
No, yeah, I would say that, yeah, for sure. And by saying, yeah, every man she meets. So that, she's not, Mona didn't want to fuck her brother, but this,
Jackee would have fucked her brother.
would have fucked
She would
her.
have been like, "Oh,
Hit on him.
I got stuck in this pizzeria like,
Right.
booth or whatever," and then
I'm stuck in this pizza oven.
But what would that voice sound like, Brian?
I'm stuck in this pizza oven.
Just got a job for a movie production company. I believe it's called Midway. And the mover, she tells the mover this. And the mover's like, "Oh, that's awesome. I've seen a lot of their movies." They're like, "Okay, in this universe, there's a company called Midway, and they make movies, and this guy knows about them, and he loves them."
Yeah, and so she's like, here's my card in case you have any trouble because I'm gonna leave. I'm in New York. I'm gonna leave while you pack up all the stuff in my place.
Yeah.
And
It's not her stuff. She
I was
don't
gonna say,
care.
she don't care
What
if
the
he steals
hell?
it.
Yeah, it's not her stuff.
but she's like, in case you need to get a hold of me, here's my card.
Yeah, she just trying to give her number out.
First
What's
day-
she doing?
First day on the job, she hasn't even gone into the office yet, and she already has business cards. Great. That's
Does that ever happen to you, Blake? I've had women give me their number for under like the same, like
a
way-
business pretense?
Yes, with
Gross,
with that
that's
pretense.
weird.
With that
Yeah,
pretense.
that's weird.
But it was come to me later, like someone would be like, someone took their class ring and put it on and then slapped me in the back of the fucking head with it. They're like, she was giving you your number, you idiot. I was like, I don't pick
Yeah.
up on that shit at all.
I don't-
I'm so stupid when it
Really?
comes to
Men are
Oh,
dumb.
yeah.
Men are
God,
dumb.
you guys are dumb. Yeah.
we're from Mars.
that. Yeah. And girls are from, is it penis?
Yeah.
That's penis isn't
Yeah.
a place. It's a part of my body, right?
Well, that's where the girl should be, on your penis.
Fair enough. CJ Banks.
I love how Amanda's like, the first 3 were fun, but this one is rough to get through.
You're screwed. You're a part of the show now. You are locked in.
It's like 4 weeks of
This is canon now.
Listen, we've been to the strip club. Well, except for Blake. So
Yeah, Blake refused to go. We went to the strip club and then promptly
Yeah.
had it burnt down.
yeah, he was like, if I didn't go, I can never go.
Hold on a second. Are you saying that Blake burnt the strip club
I
down?
think so. I think he burned it down after he realized we had a good time, and he wasn't there. He's like,
Not
no
without
more
me,
good
you
times
don't."
without me.
Some arsonist YOLO situation.
We still got to go to that
poor
country.
Which one?
That country.
Dixie Rose.
Dixie
Oh.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake, would you go to us to Dixie Rose?
I would, but I would be scared. Like, there's a lot of gunfire down there. That's not a
That's
great.
part of the appeal, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Have you heard of a fear erection?
For the last more than 4 hours, you should consult your doctor.
I only get a fear erection if I get stuck in
Yeah.
something.
So that place burned down, and the solo stripper that was there the one night we went
Yeah.
is now out of a job. Thanks a lot.
She's back at Dixie Rose.
She's on her.
You know, she's good.
she's landed on her back somewhere.
She's all right.
That's a funny
Yeah,
joke.
she's gonna get that money for her ICC tuition for the semester. It's fine.
CJ Banks arrives and he works for the movie company. And the movie company, like we said, is called Midway. And it is quickly revealed to be a porno company. And Sandra was not aware of this at all.
What?
And first of all, I think to myself, wow, that is a big leap to take, saying it's a porn company. Like, we didn't have to go that far to get this joke by.
Right.
Second of all is, how do you move everything you own,
Yeah.
Change your life entirely.
change your life
Right.
entirely, move someplace you don't know anybody, and not know that, do some research. I mean,
Because the writers needed her to.
well, I know that, but
That's
I'm
probably
just,
a big part of it.
but I just thought it was very like
I feel like
out left field for sure about it being a porno, you know.
I felt like it was a sitcom that was going for shock value. Did you feel that at moments? I just felt like there was like this, a lot of these like weird like shock value.
Talking about
moments.
porno is a big swing in network sitcom
Oh,
TVs in the late
the
80s.
upcoming, the
Yes.
next one, the
Yeah.
next piece, the
Yeah.
other piece with her coming home. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's
there's
a lot
another,
of that.
like, you're like, what?
The mover though is great because he's like, I watch all these movies. Like, something was said about getting a job for him or something. He's like, I can't imagine. I watch them, but I can't imagine being in them. So, and it's almost taboo back then. It's like, today in 2022, it's just expected that all of us are watching porno all the time.
Right,
but back then,
yeah.
I felt like it was a little bit more taboo. And this guy's clearly saying, "Yeah, I've watched all the movies. I fucking love pornography."
Well, you had to
Porno's
like
great.
you had to go in somewhere,
And you had to go
yeah.
through a curtain to the back.
Yeah.
I bet it was.
so
I bet it was
it was
mid
a
late
lot.
'80s
Yeah.
when like VHSs were starting to be able to be purchased. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Before that, you
Before
had to
that.
like go somewhere and like just fully unfold your shame there in the theater.
Well, and even
Paul-
when the
Paul
VHS
Rubens.
tapes came out, you had to go somewhere and purchase those VHS
Yeah.
tapes.
Yeah.
So I think that as the accessibility became like easier,
The shame went away
The
with it?
shame went away because people,
Interesting.
I mean, more people had access. So then you realize that everybody's watching it, and who's
Or you could
you know.
rent porn and then, pick
Yeah.
up the videotape and be like, all right,
Right.
put this on my VCR.
Get the wet wipes out. Yeah, go back through the
Gross.
saloon doors at Family Video.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the optimal entrance? Saloon doors to go to pornography.
I think the curtains of beads.
Oh, but beads are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bead curtains.
Beads is more like a co-op, right? Co-op records would have
yes.
beads to their.
To their adult section into the
Blake, what do you think? Trapdoor?
tobacco products.
Trapdoor. No, I don't think he should be penalized
Should be like a drawbridge.
Yeah.
with an ogre.
Yeah. You shall not pass.
Riddle me this, pervert.
New scene that night. A Boy Scout drops off Sandra at her apartment. She's completely disheveled, and it seems like she had a pretty rough day. What happened to her during that day?
She got mugged or no?
Mugged, beat up, thrown in a trunk.
Yeah,
And gasoline poured on her head.
That's
Right?
insane.
that
like,
was weird. That was
what?
Like fucking Mad Max in New York.
Like, Jesus.
She comes through basically not knowing where she was. That's why this Boy Scout was doing a good deed or whatever. And then she meets Stephanie Potter, and it's her neighbor. They both live in the same apartment building.
yeah. And Stephanie is a tall white woman, and she says, "Hey, do you need any help?" She's like, "No, but I'm just going to go wash this gasoline on my hair before it dries, which I.
It's gonna ruin her hair.
Yeah,
it's gonna.
Well,
dry
her hair's ruined. Don't. If you have gasoline in your hair for any amount of time, it's just ruined.
She says, I'm looking for a new job. So clearly, once she found out it was pornography, she was not on board.
No,
So
Right.
thank you.
she's out all day looking for a new job. And Stephanie says, hey, I work at a health club. We're hiring right
Assistant manager.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know like how this lady does, and or you know.
Yeah.
She could be a thief.
Yeah.
now. That's true.
Right?
Should be a
You're gonna
corporate
vouch.
raider.
You're gonna vouch for this random lady that just moved into your New York apartment building. I don't know about that.
And Sandra is not even interested in the job until Stephanie says that there's a lot of good-looking men there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or nay.
She's like, I'll pick you up tomorrow. We'll go. So cuts to the next day. She's going and she's there to do the interview. And this is where we see. This is the scene where we see the porn star because there
Yes.
is a weigh-in thing in front of her. She walks in. She's got a blue and pink spandex.
Everyone's wearing skin-tight
Yeah.
shit. Everyone is just. Everyone's kind of attractive and young. And it's bustling. It's the most 1989 place you'd ever
and it's
see.
very,
It is very
it's very
much, yeah.
open, but you don't see any gym equipment.
There's a lot of walking around.
Yeah, just a lot of walking with the
There's
towel.
gym equipment up on the top level.
Is there?
The balcony,
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing skin tight spandex. Sandra is there. She meets Sven at the juice bar. He's another white guy.
I thought it was Ricky Martin at first. He looked like Ricky Martin.
they pulled one of the boys from Menudo to be on this.
Looked like he was living La Vida Loca.
Well, he did have huge hair, like he was pulled from a Warrant video.
Yeah.
Right.
The minute I saw this guy, like I knew him.
Oh, what do you know him from?
So then I had to get on and I had to figure out, first of all, I had to find this pilot, the cast list, find this guy. And then I was like, started looking at his IMDb, and he for sure was on Married with Children. And I remember him from that. And then he was on Baywatch.
Wow.
Baywatch makes sense. Married with Children, though.
But he plays the same character, Sven.
Oh,
The same name.
Is this part
Workout.
of the Married with
Same
Children
universe.
verse?
Yep.
Somehow transported from
Same
Chicago.
universe, yes.
I want to say this was created by the same guy.
Yeah.
Was it?
I think that it's got to be. I mean, how else would you have this character the same?
I'm gonna
exact name?
look it up here. I feel like the writer or something was.
There's some kind of crossover.
There was an episode where Peggy wins, like the workout guy on TV is going to come to her house and
Could be. Yeah.
do workout stuff with her. She wins a contest, and she's like, "Oh, he's hot," but she like overpowers him, and he becomes fat and lazy, eating bonbons all day.
Okay, so
Eating
one of the guys, Michael
That's
Moy, who wrote this, was a writer for the entirety of Married with Children.
See,
So
yeah,
that's a great.
yeah.
I get you. That's
Yeah.
a great poll. Good job.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I
This
just
is why she's a permanent fixture of the show.
Yeah.
right.
All right. You're back on.
I
board.
don't often find, but there were a lot of people in this that I felt like, yeah, they play the same characters. And that was the same way with Jackee and Sister. I mean, I knew these characters,
There's a
but
lot of
from
recognizable
other
actors.
Yeah, they just play the exact same character in other different things.
Well, now we get Zoltan. He arrives. It sounds like something that Tom Hanks would wish upon. doesn't it?
Yes, Zoltan.
He's the patrons of the club love Zoltan. He arrives. He's very well dressed. He's a young guy, young black guy. He's got like a high top, almost like a Kid and Play kind of thing going on.
And he does nails there, and supposedly that's like half. Like he's so good at this, and he gets so many customers that he's like half the income of this
The
place.
business.
Yeah,
But is he also a gigolo?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
like it.
Yes, 100%.
Seems to be.
He said he
100%.
spent some time with the lady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Well, nice watch." He's like, "Well, where do you? I don't
Yeah.
spend time with ladies for free." And I was
Yeah.
like, "This guy's getting paid."
Hell yeah.
living the dream, Jason.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Well, what? What'd you say?
I remember those days being a gigolo.
You were a gigolo?
Yeah.
It's never come up before. I know you've done you've had a few notches in that
He's
belt.
thinking.
of yours.
He's thinking
Well-
Jello. He's had some Jello. Is what he's thinking.
I would think that was kind of a, well, yeah.
Wait, you're just thinking about how you didn't get paid to be a gigolo.
Right.
I was
That's
I was a gigolo for free.
I was a free gigolo. That's
I
different.
was bad
buddy.
at my job.
Yeah, he does. He's the best in the city at doing nails. And then Sandra goes in for an interview at night. This guy's name is it Mr. Pollock? Did anyone catch
Something
that?
like that, yeah.
Yeah,
something.
something.
The office is a mess, and she has to kind of explain to him her lack of experience, which she was kind of worried about on the the form to fill out there, and the Mr. Pollock is ready to dismiss her when she notices his love of boxing, and she rips some information from a magazine as if she's also a big boxing fan, which she's not. But he's easily fooled.
Yeah, easily fooled, and he's like, "I'll you give you a trial run."
Yeah, not hired. You got a trial.
Yeah,
as
and
the
how does that
assistant
happen?
manager.
How's that?
I don't know.
You got to do
It's the
paperwork.
80s.
You still got to do paperwork.
Anything goes back then. He gives her a trial run as the assistant manager, and she immediately takes lunch, which I think would be a big red flag.
Right.
So then Ms. Porter, who lives across the street across the hall from her, she also works there, and she's been she was talking about her boyfriend.
You're talking about Stephanie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I call her Miss Porter.
How rude.
So formal.
Hey, if anybody knows me, they often think formal.
Formal, yes. Very proper.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
She had mentioned her boyfriend Roger before, and they said they're about ready to move somewhere together.
Right. Well, he's there doing some fixing at the.
He's a handyman of sorts.
Well, you can say he's a handyman for sure.
Of sorts.
So he's kind of like they show her at her nail station. He's right next to her, of course, fixing something right next to her. And one of these rich old ladies is kind of talking about on the phone or something. They're talking about this deal, and so then he goes into the boss's office and uses a phone and calls his sugar
Baby.
sweetie pie
Sugar
or
baby.
Side
Sweetie
piece.
pie.
side piece and says, hey, buy all of this stock and everything. So he's getting information from these really rich ladies.
These old ladies just coming in and shooting the shit in a salon, and he's overhearing that, right?
Yeah, and he's using it to his financial benefit while he has a girlfriend.
Yeah. And then she's in the very same office, but like in the back room, and he makes this call, and she overhears it too.
Yeah. So here's her dilemma. Does she tell her new best friend who got her a job about that, her boyfriend's catting around? And she does this, which of course doesn't go over well.
Well, she tells Sven about it first, right? And Sven's like, I don't want to get involved. Please leave
Yeah,
me
like
alone.
I'm not.
I'm
Stay out of
I'm
it.
just here to squeeze the orange juice.
Hell yeah, he does. Man, those biceps, he can squeeze me. I tell you what. Then Zoltan comes up to Sven, and he's like, hey, I don't understand why Sandra hasn't fallen for me yet. And Sven's like, it's because you're a huge fucking piece of shit. He kind of tells him he's a pig right there. It was kind of funny. And then Sandra does tell Stephanie about her boyfriend Roger screwing around with her off screen. And we see Steph come out of a back room, and she's very upset with Sandra, and she doesn't believe her. She kind of storms off, or at least that's how she's acting.
Yes.
The next day, we get more of this receptionist who we have not mentioned yet, but she answers the phone, and she hates her job and comes up with creative ways to be rude.
Yes.
Who is she? She's a famous stand-up, right? She's
Oh, is she?
I think so.
I believe you. You'd have to look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. I mean, Brian was doing that, but I guess I'll do it now. He was the guy in charge of looking everything up. But
We also see some old lady again in the seat, and you can't tell if it's the same lady from before, giving more stock tips or whatever while Steph works on her. Roger, of course, is right there too, and he hears what this lady says, and he gets up and for a different reason excuses himself again.
Yep. He's got to go buy a new drill.
Yep.
Yeah, his drill, the motor's
Yeah.
busted or something.
Got to go buy a new drill.
Well, Sandra has been watching this. She sees this, and before Roger leaves, she calls him over, and she calls him out on his shit, and he kind of admits it. But this time, who's overhearing but Stephanie, right? And then Roger's kind of like, "All right, whatever," and then he just leaves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have some info, Blake?
yeah, Margaret Smith started out as a stand-up comic in Chicago, Illinois. She's best known for her sarcastic wit and deadpan delivery. In 1995, she won the American Comedy Award for Funniest Female Stand-Up Comic. She has a comedy CD called As It Should Be, released in 2000. I'm sure that material is relevant now. She has also written a book published in 2008 entitled What Was I Thinking? How being a stand-up did nothing to prepare me for becoming a single mother, and now she has 2 sons and lives in Texas. But I remember her from something.
Well, there you go.
So 2000 comedy album?
No, it was. I've seen her on TV before, probably like on but I just remember her little mouth, like she had a little mouth.
Like Bernadette Peters, right?
Fuck it, Bernadette.
Do you know the theory behind little mouths?
No.
Blake, do you want to tell them?
It's big vaginas?
I don't remember.
Well, in the scheme of things, if you're a fella and you're
makes your dick look bigger.
and your predilection is towards women,
you
you don't want a lady who
With a
can
big-
unhinge her jaw like a Rosario Dawson, even though she's very beautiful. You want because with a huge mouth and arguably maybe huge hands to boot, will make your cock look
It's like a hot dog in a hallway, right?
That's right. You want someone like you want Bernadette Peters, someone who's
My
got a tiny
Joker-
mouth.
Brian says that, since I've lost weight, my chin's real pointy, and he says that I have a Joker smile that...
I don't know how that relates to your sex life, but
I ever put clown makeup on, and then
there's
You
his
do
cake.
give a
There's his
cake.
cake, yeah.
Finally, we knew we'd
I put
drag
a
it
cape
out.
on, and it's all good.
Yeah.
He's really into John Wayne Gacy, is what it is. Let's see here. Steph seems defeated from the situation with Roger. She kind of knew what he was up to, but she was just accepting it, saying, hey, people use people. That's how
Right.
the world goes. She's just very cynical.
Sure.
And kind
That's
of
what I
negative.
want in a romantic partner.
Hell yeah. Sandra then kind of gives a speech to Steph about how she's going to make, Sandra saying, Sandra, am going to make it in New York.
Jackee, known as Sandra, I'm gonna
Right.
make it.
I have a good attitude. I'm going to work hard, and I'm not going to, be used by people or
I'm
get
going to
down.
take care of my friends, too, and stand
Yeah.
up for them.
And she kind of turns. She then kind of says, "Isn't that right, Pearl?" And the old lady who was giving tips this time turns around, and it's a lady from 227.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she kind of said, "Hey, would you mind flying over to New York from Washington
Yeah.
D.C. to do
Just
this?"
to
For this little
bust
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one tiny thing for me. And the lady from 227 gets a huge pop. The audience
Yeah.
loves
Oh,
it.
we popped
Yeah.
the shit out of that
Pearl.
thing.
Hell yeah!
You saw Pineapple Express. We were talking about it.
Oh, that was her on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
the
her.
one James Franco lost his shit over.
You're right. That is her. Then the three go out for breakfast.
Yeah.
and that's the end.
Nice.
That's all you're gonna get.
Never again.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Yes, this is where I put the note of why is it called Jackee, or would it be called Jackee? Do you think? Last week we said the same thing. The episode of Who's the Boss was called Mona, but with her spinoff, would the series be called Mona?
But I mean, it had Jackee written all over
Yeah.
on the title
Have
cards.
the intro and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Would you think it would be called Sandra, or would you go, or do you think she would like Jackee Harris fought to have it called Jackee?
I feel like I feel like it's one of those things that maybe it was a deal. Like, I want to be the title of the series. I'll play my character Sandra, but I want the series to be titled.
I want my name out
Yeah.
there.
Was the Sybil Shepherd show? Was that her character's name?
I think it was called Sybil, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was her name on it or not. That's a
don't-
good point.
yeah, right.
That's a good example of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it really.
Yeah.
It really, yeah.
But Jackee was almost kind of like positioning herself to be like a Madonna or something, where it's like I am
Yeah.
just known as Jackee,
Right. One name.
And because before today, I don't think I could have told you her last name was
No.
Harris.
Agreed.
But if I saw her, I'd be like, that's Jackee.
That's Jackee.
Jackee.
Yeah.
Another example: the Steve Harvey Show.
Not called Steve Harvey in the show, huh?
His name is Steve Hightower.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx Show.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's Jamie King,
But there is an actress named Jamie King too, isn't there?
maybe.
Yeah.
The Wayans brothers,
Yeah.
not named the Wayans in the show.
Yeah.
So it's purely out of name
It was,
recognition.
yeah.
Either
it was
you
kind
already
of popular in that 90s
Yeah.
space.
That's part of her
there, I guess,
contract
too.
negotiation thing.
Yeah.
That she wanted it like that. For
Do you think it's like
Seinfeld?
yeah?
His name wasn't Seinfeld on the show, was it?
Yes.
It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not as good. As they should.
Close, Blake.
But
You're very
do you
close.
think this happens when someone already has a certain amount of head of steam or celebrity about them,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
want to say, just I want it to be my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
'Cause
think so.
Yeah. I would say it'd be a hard thing to do
Yeah.
if you weren't popular already. Say use my name. It's like no one knows what the fuck that is.
right.
Right.
What would you do to improve Jackee, Amanda?
A whole lot. It didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
I didn't.
She was all about Mona, apparently.
Yeah, I really did like the hotel. I feel like the gym, like, or the spa or whatever, you didn't get very much of anything short of. I mean, you didn't even really get the nail thing except for just like a tiny little blurb there at the end. I just feel like it was. It could have had a lot of storyline, but I don't know if we were just trying to get her there,
Yeah, it's tough.
this episode.
A pilot,
you know what I mean?
pilot
Yeah,
always
it's
tries to
hard.
get a lot
yeah,
done.
that's it too. I feel like it had so many segments that I couldn't immediately see where it was going to go. You know what I mean?
The problem with any pilot is always like, we're introducing you a bunch of characters, but that can't be the show.
Right.
We have to also have a problem, and then ultimately have that problem resolved, or
Resolution,
almost completely resolved to the point where you want something next.
Yeah, you want
and that's a
something
lot to
else.
fit in, especially for a 22-minute pilot.
Yep.
But I mean, it's perfect. She wants to have sex with all the men. She has sex with all the men. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think the ironic thing is Jackee did not have sex at all in this
that's
pilot.
true.
Right.
Would that be great though? Say Jackee said, you know what, we will pick up Jackee. And it was very popular, and it wasn't canceled for 10 years. And in those 10 years, the character never had sex. Maybe the show ends with her jumping in front of a truck.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe all that flirting comes from a frustration standpoint.
Oh my god.
Guys won't fuck me. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's my voice.
Why don't you think this worked, Brian?
I don't know. I think it seemed like about every other sitcom, and maybe that's the problem. It was just too generic.
A lot of formulaic stuff back then
Yeah.
in the 80s. And it was funny that this and last week's Mona they were both 1980s workplace sitcoms.
Sure.
Blake, what would happen if this continued?
Well, I mean, maybe she eventually takes over ownership of this place because that guy's not going to be in it that much. That white guy, you know what I mean?
Mr. Pollock?
Yeah. And I just think that it's going to be one of those things where there's always solving some kind of goofy problem, and talking about sex all the time. Yep. I think this didn't make. I don't think that she was near as big a star as she thought she was. Maybe.
I thought too that like, you know how you have to have like a really good dynamic between two of the characters to kind of draw you into, and I didn't get drawn into any of her little pairings. You know what I mean? Like her and the neighbor, girl. Like I was like,
that would be the biggest one.
That's the
right?
biggest
the
one.
friendship would be based on her and
yeah,
Stephanie.
and
right?
I really didn't like find them to be very entertaining or fun together for any specific reason. Same way with like, I don't like her and the nail guy, their relationship. I didn't care if, to see that, or that wasn't super funny to me, him trying to woo her,
They tried to set up a number of characters,
yeah, that's what I mean,
but you
but-
didn't have the time to really explore it at
So
times.
they
But that's such is the case with the pilot,
Right.
though, right? Oh.
Goddamn pilots.
But are we like the only ones that have talked about this pilot?
No, there's a couple people that have. Was that set up for something?
I was setting you up. This is the time where you talk about other people have talked about it.
Good segue.
Once we get the video cameras in here,
Yeah, right. It'll be even better.
then I think you and I are really gonna
Kill each other.
whatever. Yeah. And you can see what I'm doing if we had a camera.
Why is Blake crying all the time when he's doing a podcast?
I will say there are no reviews for this. There are some ratings in IMDb. And
Ratings.
And I'm not going to ask you what that stands for because I don't think you know.
What, IMDb?
Yeah.
Internet Movie Database.
All right, that is great. What do you think people from around the world rated on a scale of 1 to 10? There's no reviews, but there are ratings.
3.7.
Wow, that's really low. Amanda?
I'll give it a 5.
Brian?
4.
It's an 8.3.
Lord.
Which is very
I thought-
high.
Yeah, that is very high.
This show apparently is as good as the worst Breaking Bad episode.
Wow, that's incredible.
Anyway, it's from 24 ratings, which is not a lot of
No.
ratings, but still, it is
That
something.
is still.
Someone other way. And there are no reviews. A lot of times on popular shows, each episode has
8.5
reviews.
stars, no reviews.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
It's fishy to me.
That is
Probably
fishy.
Jackee
Jackee herself.
is-
Probably
Goddamn
Jack.
boss.
Yep.
and the mover guy. Those are the only two that did it.
That guy loved porno. What was that? The only thing he ever did, and it's like I was the guy who loved porno on Jackee. It's like,
Oh, did you hit him up on Twitter?
I-
How was it to play the porno guy?
if he was out
Jackee.
there, I did. I reached out to everyone that could be reached to, but it doesn't always work out for me.
Spoiler alert.
Let's grade this mother chucker now on a scale of 1 to 7, based on the characters from the 1990s television program affectionately and accurately known as Wings. We look at all the characters, assign them a number. 1 is the worst score and the worst character. That's Roy Biggins. Number 7, that's the best score and the best character. His name is Brian Hackett. Amanda, I turn to you. How do you rate Jackee?
I'm going to give it a 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Stinker,
Just-
huh?
Yeah, just wasn't into it.
All right.
So, wasn't for me. And I mean, I love Jackee and Sister Sister. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, the Jackee, 1980s, 227. 90s, Sister Sister. That's more of
Sister.
your Ballywick,
Yeah.
right? You're a child of the 90s.
That's me. Yeah.
Did they reboot that series by chance?
They did some movie, I think. No, they did a Tia and Tamara. Yeah, they did a reboot with, I think, them as moms. Didn't they recently?
It would make
I haven't,
sense.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know that.
I think
yeah,
they
I don't remember it, but it would make sense if they did that.
I think I remember. At least it was a movie or a little TV show series, or
Or like
something,
a Super Bowl commercial or something.
yeah, something.
Jackee's been on Days of Our Lives
Oh,
for a long
shit.
time.
Here's something. Here's something. Remember Jay Leno? Remember when he said that? But is Jackee a babe?
No. I find her
Brian?
attractive,
I thought she was very attractive
Yeah.
looking back in the 80s.
I kind of agree with
Yeah,
Brian.
she's curvy. She's pretty.
You wouldn't want her to talk, but
Right.
Yeah,
There are
I
ways you
disagree
can
with
stop
Brian
that.
now.
oh,
No, I can, I have a certain predilection myself for black ladies, but I think she's just kind of got it going on in this.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, I'm saying she's super pretty. I mean, and she's like, she's got the hourglass figure, right? She's like super tiny in the middle, and then she's got the big boobs and the hips and thighs. Like, she's got it. Yeah,
What
for
did
sure.
what did Sir Mix-a-Lot say? Something in the middle, but got much back.
Little in the middle, but she got
in the
much back.
she's back. Yeah.
I can always rely on Blake for like.
My
late
anaconda
80s.
don't want none unless you got buns, hon. You can do side bends on sit-ups, but please don't lose that bud.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Brian, I turn to you. How do you rate Jackee?
I'd go with a 3.
3?
It's pretty generic. It's like everything else that was coming out around that time.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Captain Philip, rest assured.
I'm going with a 2. I'm playing Amanda's card too.
Boy.
It was
Circle in the drain here, huh?
yeah. It was not pretty. I first of all, I
Not
can't,
the worst,
I can't
but-
stand. Yeah, not definitely. I've given a
Yeah.
0 before, but I can't stand her voice. I didn't. You said there was no mingling of two characters that are going to carry the show,
That
and
you were
yeah,
just even remotely
that
enticed
fe-
by.
or that fed off each other
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Jackie was on 3 episodes of Girl Meets World.
Oh, really? As oh my
Jackee?
God. As Sandra, please.
Elvin Rand.
Jason, how do you rate Jackee?
I think I'll go with Brian on this one and go with 3. This is it's not great. It is an interesting timestamp because Jackee for a while was pretty popular.
She was popular.
Yeah.
She was a
She was,
popular lady.
she was popular on that Hollywood Squares.
Oh, was she on that a lot too?
Yeah.
It's the club, the health club in question, unbelievably 1989.
Oh, yeah, for
like
sure.
like it just oozed it from every possible pore. The characters weren't great. The environment was fine. You don't get a lot of in-gym sitcoms. I always give points for originality, but this is a very kind of muffled point for originality. There isn't a lot here.
No.
It's fine.
Well, they tried to cross too much too, though. Like it spa gym. It was like, okay, choose either do like hair nail salon spa or do
Yeah.
gym. And I think maybe that was some of it for me.
By the
too.
compact of this
Yeah.
health club, someone's doing crunches in that
Yeah.
corner, and over here, someone's breathing in deadly fumes getting their
Yeah.
nails done.
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen a
Yeah.
lot.
Mhm. Yeah. It's kind of a
Anyway.
weird juxtaposition.
It is odd. And of the two from the past 2 weeks, we're both looking at spin-offs that's taking a character and say, we want to take this character out of this show versus, like, sometimes you'll have a thing where it's like, hey, here's our guest star this week, and we're going to try to get this guest star their own show. They were never really part of that program, but both these the past 2 weeks, we're trying to do a Mona-ectomy or a Jackee-ectomy from the show and grow something from that. And I think those shows would have both suffered greatly from the loss of those characters. So I'm giving it a 3. Brian gives it a 3, and both Blake and Amanda give it 2s. And with that, we'll close the book on Jackee, and we'll never mention that show again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But join us next time, won't you please? When we watch the pilot episode of Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles. Here's a little something to whet your whistle. In 1944, Master Sergeant Robert Stephen Savage led a squad of men into Berlin and was betrayed by one of his fellow soldiers and cryogenically frozen. 50 years later, G.I. Joe discovered the hidden bunker and thawed him out. You can find the entire episode of Sergeant Savage and his Screaming Eagles by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Brian?
You know what to do, too.
Thank you.
Just a simple punctuation will make your life so much easier.
Are you paying attention, Brian? A lot of words of wisdom coming out of Blake there.
Yeah.
Thank you. G.I. Joe. A real American hero.
A cartoon?
Oh, yeah, this is a
Is it
cartoon.
a cartoon?
This is a
Okay.
cartoon next week.
Yeah.
All right.
I have the G.I. Joe movie on DVD.
Hell yeah. Is that the one where they
cartoon
take Cobra's mask off?
Yes.
And is he an actual Cobra underneath?
Yeah, but he would have been like injected with some like mutation, storyline mutation
Sure.
fluid.
Real American hero fighting Cobra and Destro.
My DVD is signed by Sergeant Slaughter.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I met him in a Riverman game.
Kind of like when we met Hapscall Jim Duggan at a Bloomington hockey team.
Yeah. Local sports events are the only way people in the Central Illinois area are going to be celebrities. It's the only way. It's the only way we can do it.
Very obscure. That is very weird.
Yeah,
Brett Michaels at a Riverman game.
It's weird. Stuff like we talked about Gilligan's Island recently. And later they said, what if we had the Harlem Globetrotters come to Gilligan's Island? And I would say, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You are a crazy person for saying that. But here's another example where G.I. Joe would cross over with Sergeant Slaughter that you mentioned. And Sergeant Slaughter is very much a part of the WWF at the time, right?
I had the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe figure.
as did I.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, though? It's weird what we determine can be successful crossovers. Why is that professional wrestler in G.I. Joe? Impossible to say. Anyway.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
I think that
Yeah,
it
you're
was a spokesperson too, like an actual physical character
Yeah.
who was a
Mm-hmm.
a human who G.I. Joe could use for marketing. and
G.I.
things.
Joe
and I think that
littered with
that's
characters that are not real
That's how
people.
they could pitch this over easily.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Vince McMahon was all about that
Yeah,
money.
right.
And he needed that money because he was fucking everyone he was,
Because
he
you
was
know
working
Sergeant
for.
That's
Slaughter
right.
wasn't getting any of that money.
He was the opposite of a gigolo. He was fucking them and then having to pay them to keep them shut.
If someone said, Jason, take your entire life savings and I want you to put it on a man that you think is a degenerate scumbag piece of shit, I tell you what, Vince McMahon would have been the last person I would have picked. Or the first. Either the first or the last. I can't remember what I was.
You mean the guy who made a woman get down on her hands and knees and bark in the ring? You're surprised that he
that
paid
Trish
women
Stratus?
off? Yeah.
He-
You're surprised
he-
that he paid women off after sleeping with him?
She's got to be one of the people he paid off. Like he like during that Attitude Era with Trish Stratus, he treated her like she was in like thongs and just doing like the most disgusting fucking shit in front of millions and millions. She's got to be one of the people. Hopefully, that she got some money for being treated like that by him. God, is this the chickens coming home to roost? You think
right.
on Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
I think so.
I hope so.
He's out as CEO. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out completely. At some point, so-
Stephanie has stepped in or what?
Yep.
So what do you think though? Because you keep up with the wrestling. What's going to happen with Vince? Nothing. He'll just fade off into obscurity.
Nothing. He'll sit at home with his giant pile of money and just jerk
right.
off on it, probably.
yeah.
Tell his daughter what to do.
Yeah. Tell her what to do, and she just does it for him.
CEO puppet.
And then when he dies, Triple H would take over everything.
Nah. Triple H was on the outs up until recently.
Oh, really?
Why is that?
Because of their marriage, or
No, it's just like Vince didn't like all the stuff that he was
Differing
doing.
opinions.
With
he
NXT,
probably didn't like
so-
Triple H paying all those women off for having sex with him.
Are they're not divorced, are they? Triple H and stuff.
No.
No, they're fine.
Yeah.
Because if someone said, "Jason, take all your life savings,"
But yeah, old Triple H is not in as good a graces with old Vince.
What did
as
he do?
used
He
to
just
be.
made some decisions
I
in the
think
company
it's-
they didn't
yeah,
like?
there's just disagreements about
Okay.
the
Creative difference.
NXT became too popular, and it wasn't
that's-
Vince McMahon
yes.
project.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And that was Triple H's
It was
baby?
Triple H's
So arguably he's doing well, but too good?
too good.
Yep.
Overshadows the
So
main
then,
product?
so then
The
when
man with the ego.
Triple H had like a heart issue, so he was gone for a couple months. And during that time, they just completely dismantled NXT.
Oh, is it gone now?
It's NXT 2.0 now. That's legit what
Can
it's
you
called.
even believe that?
And, and you feel like that's something they
Oh,
did
it's a
And they-
complete,
against
yeah.
And
Triple
they
H?
fired everybody that worked there except for Shawn Michaels.
Taz,
While-
like all the big names.
While
that,
Triple
like,
H was
helped,
gone?
Yeah.
they got rid of them all.
Wow.
Yep.
A lot of bad moves.
So-
All the the people that made that.
Right.
Yep.
It was kind of like, it was almost like their AEW. I mean, it was. I mean, they had something to stand on against some of these new and up and comings, but
Triple
without
H,
it,
his name is Paul Levesque or something like that?
Paul Levesque.
Levesque. See, I think he's a guy who really, I think, loves the business.
Yes.
oh, agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've
100%.
seen him come back on air before from injury, and you could see how happy he
Yeah.
was to be there.
Yep.
Or how
And-
sad he is if he has to say he's got to go take a break or something. Yeah.
And then, I genuinely think he was a great personality and an awesome. He was one of the greatest heels of his
Agreed.
generation.
Oh yeah.
So
Kind of a dick backstage, from what I understand.
I totally get that he was part of the quote unquote clique.
Yep.
Right, with you've heard the clique, right, Blake? It's like him, Scott Hall, and who's that guy? Sean Waltman, Six or X-Pac.
X-Pac.
Yeah, they're kind of these
Kevin
assholes.
Nash.
Yeah, Kevin Nash. Thank you. Anyway, good luck to them. I'm sure they'll all land on their feet.
They only got a couple $100 million to
Yeah, great.
fall back on.
Hey, they're gonna
Rough
have to
life.
eat some macaroni and cheese on a couple nights.
Yeah.
Last episode we were plugging the challenge that you guys do, the two of you and
Yeah.
Tim Wasson.
Yeah.
A great
Yep.
show talking about the TV show, The Challenge.
Yep. Competition reality show.
What does the future of that show look like for you guys?
More stuff to do than ever.
Yeah. More stuff. Exciting new things. The show has just gone on to network television, onto CBS. They're doing a series called The Challenge USA. And along with that, they're doing it in other countries so that ultimately people that compete on this USA show will then compete for a spot to qualify for an international series that will air on Paramount Plus.
So a lot of these countries are just having their own version of it, and then they're going to get together a big group of the best
Yeah.
of the best.
So the winners of all
Yep.
of them. Yep.
Is
Got it.
CT gonna rule over everything?
CT's
He
not
is
in it.
not in it, at least as far as we know currently.
Yeah.
Someday CT will just be the host, right? Won't he? He has to run the thing eventually.
I
I
No,
don't see him being a
I don't
host.
see him hosting
no,
it. No.
okay. He's so beloved though, isn't he?
He is.
But he's got a movie coming out with like real actors in it.
Yeah.
Really
He's going to be in a new version of The Most Dangerous Game with like Tom Berenger and
nice.
Bruce Dern.
You gonna see that, Blake?
No,
No.
probably not.
It's a documentary.
Oh,
It's about serial killers.
Oh, in
gonna
that
watch
case,
it?
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Well, check out Challenged. Check out Midnight Drive-In. Both cool podcasts done by these
I guess.
very talented individuals that are with us today. Thank you both for being here.
Hey, thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
inviting us.
Yeah.
4 weeks in a row. 4 weeks in a row.
Ooh, hey, listen.
You gotta keep the streak
Be
going.
okay next week without me, okay?
we'll try.
Be okay.
We might have to just call
All
you.
right.
We might have to just call you.
Listen, I can, yeah.
How do you push record on this again?
Don't know how to do it. Blake, you got a part at the end of the show that you want to recap the show.
Yeah,
for
just
us.
do a little recap for everybody, kind of touch on some of the things we talked about. Of course, Amanda and Bryan being on the show, and their podcast challenge. We also talk about video on the old podcast, top hats, Vine, which was an amazing app, tree trimming, horror movies, estate sales, sex for popcorn, married with children, 1989. I had to scratch out 1987, and Pornhub, which has a little asterisk, the stuck porn, which I finally know the name of it now.
Great genre.
And then
It's good you bring it up. Pornhub really needs like
Sure.
advertisement
Yeah.
out there.
And then Gristle.
Gristle.
I'll say She was listed as a gorgeous woman in the pilot, but go watch some of Terry Weigel's films.
There you go. From the
Do some
library that
research.
Jason read. Yeah.
She's done a lot of work. She'd really appreciate your support. Give her a shout.
Some good
please.
titles there.
Very good titles.
Watch it 5 minutes at a time.
Absolutely. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip. We are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.